Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Julie, roll call.
Craig Claypool.
Here.
Emily Sayers.
Here.
Sarah Freilich.
Here.
Pam Sporer.
Here.
Laura Cardosi.
Here.
Steve Elkins.
Here.
We'll have first off approval of minutes September 8th. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second. I have some edits. Sorry, I was looking for a pen I could not find.
Here. Okay.
Oh, thank you. So time at the top of the first page, since we switched from 7 to 6, should read 6 p.m. Page 1, under municipal order number 14, the second time listed should be 650, not 750.
Which one?
It's right here, Julie, under subsection 2, right there. The 750 should be 650.
Oh, okay.
You were still on the old time.
I don't know, I mean, it's been like that forever. I get it.
So-
Page 3, moving to the city engineer report. Right before the bus stop details, I wanted to add a line where the scenic project is under construction. It'll be 4 to 6 weeks before it's wrapped up, just so that's.
Where was that?
Right before the bus stop details, we wanted to, like where he gets into the explanation about the bus stop, adding a line where this, oh gosh, that scared me. I know. Where the scenic project is under construction, it'll be 4 to 6 weeks before it's wrapped up.
That's not the way to go.
And then for the last line, when we're talking about the bus stop, from watching the video to update the line, Ms. Sporer would like to go ahead and proceed with the first option. To council members, Ms. Sporer, Ms. Cardosi, Ms. Freilich, and Mr. Elkins discussed the two project options. Ms. Sporer and Ms. Freilich favored moving forward with the first phase to improve the bus stop more urgently. Mr. Baer noted that while option 1 could be incorporated into option 2, doing the work in 2 phases could increase overall costs. Mr. Baer inquired about whether to proceed with soil borings. Mayor Zembrit suggested reviewing details further and revisiting the matter at the October meeting. And I can send this to you, Julie, because I know that was a mouthful. so.
Either that or I can just listen to the tape.
Okay, perfect. Page 4, under B, the economic development and business update. Fourth line from the bottom, correct Boyers to Boyer, B-O-Y-E-R. No S. And then under old business, at the end of the paragraph, add Mr. Braun stated that he didn't prepare the ordinance and this matter was brought to his attention after the fact. He saw this as a scrivener's error.
Where would that be? Where does that go?
Old business,
Which paragraph?
5.
You want that added to the very end?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, please. Oh, thank you for the pen.
Sure.
I thought I usually have like 10 of them.
I actually wonder if that last item that you shared, if maybe it should go after the first paragraph. Because I think it ties into the, Mr. Braun looked at it and advised Ms. Allig, Ms. Freilich would like the council to be informed of any changes to legislation. I think it goes.
Oh, Mr. Brown looked at it.
Is that right? Because the next part is about municipal order number 13. And I thought that was about,
No, you're probably right. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought this was something we had talked about after. I thought we had circled back to it, but now I think it makes more sense there, you're right.
Okay,
So put it at the
End of the first
end of the word
pair.
legislation?
Yes,
Julie can always look at the video again, so.
yeah, thank you.
Just to be clear, if that's
Yeah,
where you want it?
yes,
Okay.
ma'am, thank you.
There's roll call on your minutes. Any other?
That's all I have.
Mr. Claypool?
Yes.
Ms. Sayers?
Yes.
Ms. Fryland? Ms.
yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Ms. Cardosi?
Yes.
Mr. Elkins?
Yes.
Is there a motion for September 22nd? That was our caucus.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Okay, I have a couple on this one too. At the top of the page, after Dan Braun, note that Mr. Braun departed the meeting at 7:52 PM.
I have one. I listened to Mr. Nienaber's presentation again, and I think that there's something we need to add. Right after RM zone would help streamline the process. This is the first step only, and that would be like the second paragraph, I guess. And what he said was, he explained, Mr. Nienaber explained possible approaches, incorporating the change into Z21 by switching to the RM zone for a more streamlined process, or completing Z21 and then pursuing concurrent map and text amendments to achieve the same outcome.
Is that what you had, Laura? I had one more.
What's that?
Was that all you had? I had-
Let's see. No, that's all I had.
Okay. I have one last one. After the second paragraph that ends with, should a commercial development be built there, I wanted to add a new paragraph. Ms. Sayers asked whether rental was the only viable option for the property. Mr. Burling explained that due to parking, density, and investment factors, rental made the project financially feasible. Ms. Sayers emphasized the importance of the city clearly communicating the project details with residents and neighboring property owners. That's all I have.
Mr. Claypool?
Yes.
Ms. Sayers?
Yes.
Ms. Fryland? Ms.
Yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Ms. Cardosi?
Yes.
Mr. Elkins?
Yes.
We have minutes from the 29th, special meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have quite a few changes with this one. First, I'd like to add a note at the beginning, where, are you ready?
I'll just listen to the tape.
Well, there were two people absent.
Oh, yeah, you
I
know.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if I can make a motion to approve, can I? I take it.
Oh.
I didn't think about that, I'm sorry.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I wasn't here.
So moved.
Well,
I'll
I'm just-
second.
That's fine. Okay, withdraw.
Sorry,
Motion.
that was my fault.
Okay, so, for the beginning where it says also present Attorney Dan Braun, I'm gonna add that Mr. Braun arrived at 6:55 PM. And, let's see here. On page 3, I want to make a note in the second paragraph on page 3 where it says Ms. Stevens, it's actually Ms. Stevenson. On page 4, let's see, it's the second paragraph from the bottom, the second line from the bottom of that paragraph. It says Mr. Wise, and it should be Mr. Weiss, W-I-C-E. Do you see that, Julie? And then at the end of the meeting, I would like to add a line right before the roll call that says that Ms. Freilich exited the meeting, And I would like to strike the paragraph that begins with a quorum and ends with abstention.
Sarah, I would disagree with that.
Can you tell me why?
Yeah, I'd like to, if I could, I guess we should focus on this issue first. But, I did review the tape multiple times,
So did I.
and a quorum was present. You made a motion, and it did not gain a second. And then I made a motion, and it was seconded by Mrs. Claypool. And then, after those motions were made, you read a statement you had prepared. And I believe Mr. Braun instructed the mayor to call the roll. And you were exiting, but off the camera, but you're still in the room when the vote was taken.
I disagree. I have a number of items that I can share with you. I did write an email to the mayor and the attorney and to Julie indicating my thoughts on this. I also, because I knew this would probably be an issue, judging from these minutes, I have a signed affidavit that I put together today with a notary public stating that, and I'm happy to give you a copy, that says, I, Sarah Freilich, being duly sworn, state as follows. I am a duly elected council member for the city of Park Hills, Kentucky. On September 29, 2025, during a special council meeting, I delivered a public statement expressing my objection to the process surrounding Resolution Number 5, 2025. After delivering my statement, I immediately exited the council chambers and the building. I was not present during the vote on Resolution Number 5, 2025. Any official record or statement that indicates I remained in the room or abstained from voting is false. So I'm happy to give you this copy if you'd like to see it. Additionally, I can give you a copy of key timestamps from the video. I've watched it many, many times over the last several days, and honestly, even before that. And it shows pretty clearly that I exited the room. I can tell you that I stood up after, and I'm going to use timestamps. So 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 48 seconds, I stood up from my chair. At 1 hour, 56 seconds, I walked past the camera crew. So I would have been about where the young woman with the baby is. At 1 hour, 59 seconds, Mr. Braun told Mayor Zembro to call the roll. At 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 1 second, Mayor Zembro told Ms. Allig to take the roll. And then again, she told Ms. Allig to take the roll at 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 4 seconds. I was long out of the room when all of this was happening. And I can assure you that, you know, I don't understand why this is coming up this way. It is clear what my intention was, and I cannot express to you how much I was focused on remaining calm and exiting the room as quickly as I could.
May I
So-
ask Sarah why you didn't exit the room earlier? Why did you wait for the motion and the second?
Because if it hadn't been made, if there wasn't going to be a vote, I wouldn't have needed to make a statement.
But you knew there was going to be a vote.
I wasn't sure. I tried to make
You
a
had
motion
the
to.
statement prepared, so you assumed there would be a vote.
I had options. I made a motion to
Yeah, you made a
table.
motion to table, which interestingly, I had made that motion the month before and
That's
you voted
irrelevant.
against it.
That's irrelevant. It's a different
This is- this is-
resolution. So additionally, just to add to this, I have 8 different people who emailed me today to tell me that they saw me leave the room before the vote was taken. I'm happy to give you those copies if you need that. Some of those people are here today.
That's fine. Well, I had some people tell
Mr. Braun,
me,
do you have-
go ahead.
Finish your statement.
They said you were in the room talking at the back of the room, and I mean, we could see you And when I said that, and she was roll calling it, like you said, 126.1 was the roll. I watched it equally as many times because I wanted to be accurate.
That is so untrue.
But
I
Sarah-
did not know
Sarah-
that the roll was taken until
If you
at
were-
least an hour after the meeting.
There's
I went down the stairs immediately. I was out of the building as quickly as I could be. So it's just untrue to say that I was waiting or staying in the room.
well, if you wanted to not have a quorum, you could have maybe just not shown up.
I didn't know that we were going to definitely vote because I wanted to table the motion, I wanted to table that resolution.
Because you were all prepared.
I was prepared. That was the
Yeah.
way
Well-
that made sense to me because it's important to me to show up for meetings when I am available. It is my duty as a council person to be here in our meetings. I'm not going to not show up, but I did take it very seriously when I wanted to be clear about how I felt about that resolution. I feel that the special meeting was set at a time when at least one council member definitely couldn't be here.
I did not know that when it was set. I was told
I'm
that
not
in a
sure.
text after I had said about setting a special meeting.
Listen,
Yes.
I can't speak for Laura. She will have to speak for herself.
I text you on September 23rd.
No, I have it on the day that I had asked.
I can show you the text. That's the day I
Okay.
left.
Did I already say something about having a special meeting? Because that's the reason I reached out to everyone
No, I text you and told you I was going to get it.
a week.
And then we'll have a group return.
Okay, I'll look at that, my message.
The only time that you reached out to all of council was not to ask us about scheduling something. You reached out to us to ask us about how we felt about something.
I said, is there consensus to put it back on the table? And I did have, three got back to me and three did not. And I even reached out to each and said, I was trying to get a consensus if you want to bring it back to the table. So I thought, we will bring it back to the table.
I don't think that's how that email came
Well,
across to me.
I'm sorry you took it wrong, but
All right, you brought this up. You have a duty to vote, and clearly by getting up and walking out of the room, you were attempting to have a quorum present so the vote wouldn't go forward. Now, that issue's being litigated. We'll wait for the Attorney General to weigh in on that matter. It is the duty of the other three members here to recall what happened and vote whether or not they want to approve your addendum to the minutes or not. We can hear from them shortly. Your affidavit is self-serving. That's not what happened. We don't care what people on email said. The video will speak for itself. There was a motion made by you, so clearly a quorum is here. It was not seconded by as a result of that. Then a motion was made to continue. It was first and seconded, and then you read your statement into the record. It took you a few minutes to gather up your stuff and start to walk out of the room. I looked up and said, Mayor, go ahead and call the roll. You were walking out. I said, show it as it's a voluntary removal of herself from the dais. Go ahead and call the vote. You were still present in the room. The vote passed 3-0 from the members who were here. The video clearly indicates there were people in the back of the room looking at you as you're exiting the room. There's no way you could have gotten down the steps and out of here before that vote was called. That's my recollection. Again, the video will speak for itself. I know you've reached out to the gentleman that taped the meeting. He couldn't be here tonight. He indicated he's not returned your phone calls, but he also verified exactly what I just said.
I'm sorry. I was not in the meeting when this vote was taken. I was not here. People were turned around for different reasons, I imagine, because I was not here. I don't know what happened. I have timestamps. You're welcome to review them. You're welcome to compare them to the video. I assure you, I have spent a lot of time and effort trying to show that I was not here. I looked at my
iPhone records to see if I could see, I can see that I was moving and walking at an hour and 26 minutes. And I know that, a lot of things happened very quickly. That vote, when I watched the video, it shows that the vote happened in less than a minute. And so, I don't know, it didn't take me minutes to exit. It took me seconds. So you're welcome to review the video. I have timestamps here. I can make copies for anyone who wants to see them. I tried to reach out I talked to Mr. Claypool, I tried to reach out to Mr. Elkins, he didn't answer or call back, and I tried to reach out to you, Pam.
You did not reach out to me,
I
Sharon.
absolutely did, but your
I
voicemail
have-
was full.
I have no evidence that you called me.
Well, your voicemail was full, I'm sorry, but I did try to reach out to all of you.
I remain, I have to go with what my memory was, and I did review the video probably 4 times. And you are off camera at the time the vote is taken, but it's my recollection you were there. So, that's my recollection, you're off video, that's it. But I remain really interested in why, in August, you and Emily and Laura voted against tabling the matter. And then
These are-
in September, we're going through all of this. Now we have the Attorney General, we have to wait for his opinion, because you wanted to table the matter.
These are different resolutions. The resolution that you are speaking of, the resolution number 5, is a resolution to repeal what we agreed to vote on, what we voted on in August, resolution number 4. What we stated as part of that resolution is something that 5 out of, let me
In August,
finish.
Sarah,
Let me
no, what
finish.
I'm asking you.
Okay,
In
we're-
August, I wanted to table it.
It
because
wasn't the
I-
same resolution.
Okay.
It's not the same resolution.
Can I say something real quick?
We tabled it to discuss the resolution, and it went down. That's what I understand.
Sarah did call me. I was out of town. She asked me did I read the minutes. I told her I was out of town. I did not read the minutes. Sarah, you didn't say anything about leaving the room at a certain time or anything like that when you was on the phone with me. My opinion is, from what the attorney said, he looked at the video. I've looked at the video. It's a toss-up. I think we decided to table this and move on. See what the attorney general says.
Well, the Attorney General doesn't rule on our minutes. He rules on the complaint that was made to him by Gretchen Russell Stevenson
Okay.
and the response that Mr. Braun offered. He's not involved in approving our minutes.
Okay.
Am I wrong on that?
Yes, and if the Attorney General rules that there was a violation of the Meeting Act, then this is all moot because the vote would have been proper.
Gotcha.
I honestly want to say, for the benefit of everybody who's been kind enough to come here tonight, I don't understand what the big deal is here. I received what I consider a veiled threat over this vote tonight. And, is that where we are in this city? We make threats, if you don't vote the way I want you to vote, something bad's gonna happen? This is crazy. I don't understand what the big deal is here. If you don't like this project, that's fine, we disagree on things. That's
It's not about
fine.
the project.
Okay.
It is about
Okay, this is,
process.
we're on the minutes. There's a first. Is there a motion and to approve the minutes or not, so we can move on? We can argue all night long.
There's a motion on the floor in a second.
And I cannot state more strongly that this paragraph is incorrect.
I'll second the motion.
It's all, yeah.
Okay, we
Just
had a
on the
first
record,
by
just on
Mr.
the record,
Elkins,
It
the
was my
second.
recollection that you were still in the room because I watched you at the door. That's my recollection.
And the video doesn't, I wasn't here. The video doesn't show that. The video shows a
No, it doesn't
really,
show, 'cause
it doesn't
it
show
doesn't
it.
cover that.
It shows a chaotic, loud,
Disrespectful.
I'm not gonna add that, but like loud, there were a lot of commotion. Again, not here, but to say the video showed Sarah's still in the room because she was talking in the back is absurd. Because there were a lot of people talking. We cannot determine that it was her. There were people I will say this, Kathy, people were being disrespectful because they were shouting obscenities and rude things at folks. To your point, Pam, about being threatened or disrespected. That is what I witnessed. And that to me is unacceptable. I agree with you. There is no reason for that. But we cannot say because I heard Sarah in the video at the door, that is inaccurate. We will never be able to know
wasn't
that.
in the room.
That's
I
a
didn't
fact.
say that.
I didn't say you did. Somebody did. Don't know who did.
No,
But we cannot
all I
say
can offer
we
is
heard
my
her at the door.
recollection, And I made effort, I probably reviewed the video 4 or 5 times.
Same.
And I too wrote down the timestamp, so.
Okay, so.
Again, I know we're gonna just take the vote here, but
I'm
what's
happy
the
to-
real agenda here? This is very.
We'll call the
odd.
minutes and then we'll inform everyone about what happens later.
Okay, hold on. The motion is to approve the minutes with the corrections, but last one, is that correct? Is that how you're?
The motion was to approve the minutes as they're written.
Okay, but there were a couple corrections made.
Well, what about all
Sarah
of the
offered
corrections?
corrections. I have no objection to your correction on Mr. Braun entering at 6:55. Did you have any other ones
Corrections,
besides the
last
last
name.
paragraph?
Spelling.
And the name spelling?
Mr. Weiss's name
And Ms. Stevenson's
and
name.
Ms. Stevenson's name.
And it's just so hard for me to imagine that all of you are going to say that I was in the room, because I was not in the room.
Well, you know, Sarah, I'm just giving you, the video is unclear on it, and I'm giving you what my recollection is. I mean, you know, if I had known you were going to pull a stunt like that, maybe I would have been more attentive to your every action.
It wasn't
But
a
I
stunt.
actually thought we were in, good faith, engaging as a council.
I was in good faith. I was using parliamentary procedure to make a statement and to exit the room. I couldn't have been more focused on exiting the room. There was no reason that I would have stayed.
Okay,
Okay, what do we?
should we take roll call?
Is the motion with the changes correct, or without?
I think
I
everybody.
can change the typos and when Mr. Braun entered the meeting, but I don't, you guys need to tell me what you want in that slide.
I want that paragraph to be gone.
Okay,
So
so
again-
one change means all changes. We're going to vote on that, correct?
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
I think the motion that Steve wants to make is to approve the minutes with the 3 corrections, the 2 misspellings, and the time I arrived.
That's correct.
But not including the
That's correct.
statement. Okay, that's what's before council.
Okay, and then Ms. Spore seconded that, so,
Actually, it was correct.
I thought we should, sorry. Mr. Claypool,
Yes.
Ms. Sayers.
No.
Ms.
You were not, you were absent.
I wasn't here, sorry. Never mind, still no.
Okay, Ms. Froelich,
No.
Ms. Spore,
Yes.
Ms. Cardosi,
Thanks.
and Mr. Elkins.
Yes.
We have a first reading for ordinance number 8.
Before we get started, may I suggest that there's a lot here to think about, and I wonder if we could move this to the caucus meeting so that we can discuss the particulars of this.
I agree with that.
I prefer not. Actually, we talked about it for quite a while last year, and I've sent it to all of council months ago to review, along with the stuff that was going in it, like where it all came from a resolution from 2011, meeting behavior, and from information from KRS, and I think I brought up, and the Roberts Rules, parliamentary procedures. They were Roberts Rules simplified, so you didn't have to read a book. So all that was sent as well to review what's in it. And more than ever, after last meeting, we need to bring what's on the books already into one place in an ordinance form that Mr. Braun and I were looking at a year ago, more than a year ago now. And it needs to happen because everyone seems to have forgotten their behavior. Everyone seems to forget that Robert's Rules is like a standard that all the cities use, whether it's in a law or not. And so it's all brought to one place, and that's how it came about. So I think we discuss things until they're no longer existing, and they never get done. So I believe it should stay a first reading, so.
Mayor, I want to ask you, did you and Mr. Braun propose this legislation?
Some time ago, it was proposed by
I
several.
mean, this legislation.
Yeah,
Well, technically, I think, aren't legislators supposed to propose legislation?
well, legislators has reached out many times and asked me these things over a couple years now.
And I believe I've been very active in this. I would say not, a couple of members have not. And I've also shared 2 other options for.
You
for
did,
this
but
ordinance,
they removed things, so.
That's right, with reason. I think this is why I'm bringing
You
this up.
remove Robert's Rules, I mean,
Yes.
that's ridiculous.
It's not.
Okay, we're going to move on with
Well, this is why.
a first
this is-
read.
This is why I think it's better for us to bring this to caucus so we can talk about the details.
Okay, now, wait a minute, technically, are you making a motion to table this
Is
matter?
that proper to, yeah,
Yes.
okay. I'd like to make a motion that we move this discussion to a caucus meeting, next caucus meeting.
I second.
Mr. Claypool,
No.
Ms. Sayers.
Yes.
Ms. Furley,
Yes.
Ms. Ford,
No.
Ms. Cardosi,
Yes.
Mr. Elkins.
No.
Fails. First reading, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Park Hills, Kentucky, repealing and replacing Section 3236 of the Code of Ordinances regarding meetings and establishing the order of business and conduct in meetings. Now, let me first state for the benefit of everyone, we've made several changes to Section 32, and there were different letters and different numbers and the whole 9 yards. And as the mayor said, she's proposed some kind of rules and regulations with the conduct. So it was, when she asked me to put this together, I did originally. I've made changes to it over time because of the changes we've made. So I thought it would be better to completely repeal Section 3236 and reenact it with these provisions in it. You're free to pick and choose as you want, obviously, in your discussions. I tried to put together a model ordinance, which is pretty standard for most cities, and that is what you can use to
And I did
have your
ask,
debate.
yes, and I did ask Mr. Braun to change C to a majority of legislative body present at the meeting shall constitute a quorum, and take out the confusing part of majority of members of city council, since that was a little confusing the way it sounded to some. And a lot of the things in here, I just didn't pull this out of thin air. This came over a couple of years worth of input from other council persons and even yourselves, things you liked in here. And I just think, everybody said, oh, we don't use Robert's rules. Oh, we do use it. No, we use parliamentary procedures. No, we don't. We use it. It's, I just thought it all needs a home. No one's ever even looked up the 2011 resolution we did about behavior, and so some of that is in here. I've never asked one of you to shut up and sit down when you're not behaving. I've never said no to someone that wants to speak, and so we put some timelines in here, okay, for everyone to go by. But that doesn't mean we can't say, hey, that's pretty interesting, you can go forward or be cut off. We've only had one disgruntled person in here it was probably a year ago with Paul Zeltlinger that, it was just really terrible behavior. And now it's starting all over again, and I just think it needs to have some rules set down that we can go by. And that's where this came from. So if you have other input from now till our next one, then you can email Julie or Mr. Braun, and we can take a look at what it is. I know Sarah came up with a whole new ordinance, but it was actually weak. It was very weak because it didn't have a lot of things in there that are, I think, very critical for meeting behavior and using a simplified Robert's rules. Or, it's just a lot of yelling and hollering sometimes. The last meeting was totally out of line.
I just wanted to say that the point of this ordinance, for the benefit of everybody here, is the process is to facilitate respectful, focused public debate so that things can be accomplished. The process is not an end in itself. The process is a means to accomplishing things in a proper manner. The process, like anything else, can be weaponized. And it can be used to delay or obstruct. I mean, it happens. We see it at the federal level. We see it at the state level. The items listed in this ordinance, and I believe this is online, isn't it, Julie? If not, we should.
It is, it's
Yeah, it's
proposed, yes.
online. These are very standard items, so it just states the time, and I will give a copy of mine, you can pass amongst yourselves, that we need. The rules for getting on the agenda. I mean, these are very standard rules, and I'm sure there's a city that's an exception to this, but I don't think there's anything at all egregious in here. nor do I think it's in any way a harsh ordinance. I think it's pretty generous. I don't really see how it's even controversial. But my point is just that a good process helps you accomplish things on behalf of your city. And that's what we're trying to do here. So I don't know if y'all have this, so I'll just give you a copy of mine. You can pass it around and read it.
So Mayor, if I have things that I would like to ask you that I question, I just email you, now's not the time to discuss them.
Yeah.
I think you
Can
can
we
discuss
discuss
it
it
now.
now?
We can bring it up.
We can discuss it now.
Well, I just wonder with section 1C, I wonder why we don't just use the KRS language.
That's what I just read. I had just read that. I said I did change C, asked Mr. Braun to change C,
And that's the KRS, okay.
and that's from the KRS.
I can actually answer that question a little bit differently because the quorum section is actually a different part of this part of our city code in addition. So if you go to, because this is part of 32.36, in 32.54 of our code of ordinances, it states, a majority of the council shall constitute, a majority of the council shall constitute a quorum, and a vote of a majority of a quorum shall be sufficient to take action unless otherwise provided by law. And that corresponds also with KRS 83A.0606.
And that's what Mr. Braun had at first.
They're not the same.
I
There's a
understand. I thought the
conflict.
language was being corrected to 83A. That was my understanding of what you said.
The two things that I just read conflict with what is here in C.
I understand, but I thought I heard the mayor say this was going to be conformed to 83A. Isn't that what you said in the beginning?
Yes, I said, I had asked that the majority of members of city council present at a meeting shall constitute a
The
quorum.
president of the meeting
And-
needs to go.
And
Yes.
have it say a majority of legislative body present at any council meeting shall constitute a quorum.
No,
That's straight from the KRS.
no, it's not. Would you like me to read it again?
It doesn't matter. You have
It does
6
matter.
people on council, 4 people are a quorum. That's bottom line. That's the story.
I mean,
There we
maybe
go.
you just write it that way. Maybe that'll make everybody happy. Let's just write it that way, and then there isn't any confusion.
Okay,
I think
so,
that's fair. We're a 6-person council, four is a
quorum.
quorum.
4 or more is a quorum. Yeah, that's fine. That takes all the, yeah.
I just added that.
Because this is confusing. This doesn't,
4, are we good with 4 or more is a quorum?
I am.
I actually, it's okay, but I think it should not be there at all. We should just refer to KRS.
Yeah.
Well, the whole point is
established.
to make
It doesn't
everyone
matter.
understand what we're looking at. That's the whole purpose of this.
I understand.
Not just to send them to KRS or Robert's Rules or the like. That's the whole reason for the ordinance.
Okay, but we all agree on what constitutes a quorum,
4 members of the legislative body,
or more.
4 or more.
That's what majority means, but whatever word do you want.
Any other?
Yeah, just the D then, I wonder, if we really are going to be adopting strict Robert's Rules of Order, shouldn't we say that we are modifying it, or it's very rigid.
Very.
I mean, I have a book at home, but I'm just reading through it.
Yeah, that's why I said, I use I sent you all the simplified version.
I just wonder if we should say it there.
We can
What
put
is it?
simplified version of the Robert's Rules.
So it's
If
not
that- if that's the title.
Because it's, well, that's what I had sent to every one of you.
Are you
It's
talking-
for the parliamentary procedures. It's pretty much says the same thing of how to conduct a meeting.
Are you talking about that single sheet of paper, or are you talking about the actual book, like Robert's Rules of Order?
I sent you all the simplified version of Robert's Rules. That's what we're speaking of.
There was
Because the
something-
book, yes, I have a book as well. And yes, I do.
Virtually all cities
Goodness
and
gracious.
corporate bodies use some version of Robert's Rules.
KLC
Large
recommends it. so-
legislatures, like the Kentucky legislature, use parliamentary procedure because they're so large, Robert's Rules are cumbersome for them. But obviously, we do need some sort of respectful process in which, motion, a second, all that stuff.
I understand all of those concepts, but there are different editions of Robert's Rules? Like, are we talking about the book or the thing that you emailed to us that's like 2
The
pages?
thing I emailed to you was.
Just 2 pages
It's
or something?
simplified,
Just that?
it says simplified Roberts Rules.
Hmm.
KLC recommends it, that's where I had gotten it.
I'm just saying, maybe that language should be in here then.
Yeah, because this makes it sound like we're referring to Robert's Rules of Order, the book.
This is a
I guess
first
it would be
reading,
up to any
It is.
mayor that,
That's what we're supposed to do. That's why it's good to discuss it now.
right, and I guess that would leave the door open to any mayor to whether they want to take a hard line to it or a lighter line to it. But what I sent you all was a simplified version to look
It
at.
needs to be clearer, because I would have to go back and look at specifically at what that says versus, 12th edition, Robert's Rules, and then we all get a
Mr. Brown,
copy.
What do
and-
you advise? What does Newport use?
99.9% of the cities I've ever encountered, and like you said, other bodies, legislative or otherwise, have adopted Robert's Rules of Orders for parliamentary procedure because it allows you not to have to pick and choose what you like and don't like, how you want to present things and not present things. It's a way of, someone created this as a model to follow. Why would you not want to do that?
Oh, I'm not suggesting.
No, I realize that, but you even said earlier, you decided to use parliamentary procedure when you got up and walked out of the thing. Okay, well, that's what Robert's Rules of Order are, parliamentary procedure. Why not adopt them and use them as part of your meetings and discussions? That's what it was made for.
We have that through KRS and KLC, and we have that guidance.
And that's why we're putting it in here.
But
This
it's
is to consolidate everything. That's the whole point of the ordinance, is to consolidate it in one place. Everybody can easy access and reference.
I understand the concept, but I think that it's not clear what Robert's Rules of Order we're referring to here, because there are, if you have the book, then you understand that there are different editions, and then we have to talk about what are we actually following there, and if you're saying that every mayor who comes here can pick something different, that defeats the purpose of having something stated.
Okay.
Obviously, legislation can be changed, but if you select Robert's Rules of Order, a mayor would have to change the legislation to do otherwise.
I think it's understood it is the current edition.
Yeah.
Well, I think that has to be stated, because I can't.
Okay, we'll make it clear. We'll make it
That's right, and Mayor,
very
I mean,
clear.
I hear you saying that we just have a printout that we're referring to, so I'm not.
What I sent you all is what I was referring to, what we use right now. It's a simplified version of it. We don't go into depth, I don't have the book out here telling you, oh, you're out of order because you said it and they should have said it, or vice versa. It's done pretty easily, off the cuff. So that's the simplified version that I sent you all.
So are you saying, I just want to understand what you mean.
My goodness.
Are you
Okay,
saying,
it says that the current edition of Robert's Rules of Order is the newly revised 12th edition.
right,
Which was released in September of 2020. It is the official parliamentary guide and supersedes all previous editions.
is that what we're going to use? Is that what this means?
I'm
How
fine
about,
with that.
we'll dig into the clarification of that, and I'll send it all to you again to look over. So before we have a second reading and adopt anything, the right stuff is in there for anyone that doesn't understand.
And will we all get a copy of that edition, and will we have training on how to use it? Are we going to do those things, all of us?
I'll send you what we find.
Okay. I also want to address the consent agenda.
Me too.
Oh, okay, you go ahead.
I don't know what that means.
It's actually called something different in Robert's Rules than consent agenda. But I will say that,
Okay.
I actually looked at Kenton County Fiscal Court agenda from last week just to actually was just there for a different reason. And I noticed that they had a consent agenda, so I was like, oh, here's a good example. But basically, it's a tool that can be used for efficiency. So if you have like a bunch of different things that you need to vote on, like, approve this purchase for a road, something or another, like a bunch of different things. You can do that all at once. That's my understanding. But I will say that necessarily think that that's necessary for a city of our size. I don't think we need a consent agenda. And
What's the downside in your opinion?
I think it prevents transparency. I think it could seem like, we're voting on a bunch of different things at the same time. And we don't have so many things that we need to vote on
I'm fine
at
with
one
getting
time.
rid of it. I don't, does anybody, how does everybody feel about
This
that?
was,
I mean, I don't, I'm not
seems-
invested in a consent agenda.
Seems silly.
At all.
Okay. I have a version that I'm going to pass out. This is what I shared with the mayor and Mr. Braun. This is a version.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was passing.
This is a version of the ordinance that I suggest, so you can take a look at that. I don't think it is inappropriate, whatever it is that the mayor said.
I said had weakness.
Yeah, I have spent a lot of time working on this. Here, you want to take a look at that too?
That's just sort of-
Huh?
Before you move on to that, let me clarify something further. The mayor has presented to me copies of the pages that she had given to her, which are the Robert's Rules of Order simplified. It is not a volume of rules. It is not a publication of any kind. It is simply basically statements of things that happen on a normal basis in council meetings to help you understand it. So it's kind of a composite of the rules that matter with regard to motions and things that are made before council. It's kind of a guide, so to speak. So this in and of itself is not a quote-unquote simplified Robert's Rules of Orders that you could indicate in your ordinance. My suggestion would be, if you want to amend it, let's just put Rules of Orders, the current edition is may be revised from time to time as the parliamentary procedures. This you can use as a guideline to help you understand.
So it's like a synopsis.
Yes, there you go. The rules that typically come into play.
So you're suggesting that we follow a synopsis of
No, I'm
Robert's
saying
rules?
that that's all this is. I don't want you to think that she's trying to present you some bound volume or published volume. This is nothing more than guidelines to the rules that are normally applied by people sitting as council members. Thus, my indication that we should just amend this to say that you're going to use the current edition as it may be revised from time to time. You can only use those documents as a guideline to help you understand parliamentary procedure.
So instead of having Robert's Rules of Order, we would just use that?
No, they are Robert's Rules of Order. It's a simplified version so you understand. The
Robert's Rules
guidelines
of
are hard to
Order
understand
is a
about
book.
it.
My
It's a book.
understanding was we would reference the edition, the 12th edition, as we discussed. But this is a synopsis, it's like the Cliff Notes. So everybody can have a copy of the Cliff Notes, and it facilitates the use of the Robert's Rules.
Okay, so which are we following?
The 12th edition.
Okay,
I
so
think
that's
that was
just,
the agreement.
So we follow the 12th edition. The simplified version is the tool we use to understand the very large 12th
Yeah, it's like a
edition.
synopsis, it's a summary.
To make sure I understand.
But I think we have been, and we following Robert's Rules of Order in our proceedings. I mean, I think that has always been the case.
And again, it just brings it all to the same place, so easy reference.
I'm sorry, it's about the consent agenda.
I think everybody, if I understood it, was good with eliminating the consent agenda.
agreed.
We've used it a few times.
Many cities do.
But like I said, it's May.
Yeah, it's a may, it's a permissive, so if it allows us to move forward, I'm fine. Removing it.
Let's say if you want to.
Right.
So what we're doing then is, you want me to remove E, consent agenda, if indicated on the meeting agenda, and you want me to eliminate the entire paragraph 3. Council may adopt a consent agenda, et cetera. Is that right?
Yes. And I would say, I'm sorry, Steve, but it doesn't say may about Robert's rules. Is that what you were?
No, it's about
discussing?
consent agenda.
Oh, about consent agenda. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Problem with
Probably not. Not a problem. Since it says may.
it. Yeah.
Yes, but if it allows us to move forward and not
Yeah.
belabor this point, I think it can be removed.
I agree.
Any other suggestions?
If I come up with one, I can email you.
Sure. That's why I sent it out quite a while ago to,
And just so you know, Mayor, I took your email very seriously. Like, I read everything that you sent. I took it all into consideration. I tried to be collaborative, but it apparently wasn't working.
okay, we have a municipal order, number 15.
In order, the City Council of the City of Park Hills, Kentucky, declaring certain personal property of the City of Park Hills as surplus and authorizing its sale in accordance with state law.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll say.
Mr. Claypool?
Yes.
Ms. Sayers?
Yes.
Ms. Furley?
Yes.
Ms. Ford?
Yes.
Ms. Cardosi?
Yes.
Mr. Elkins?
Yes.
For the benefit of the people in the audience and the people listening, Chief Reedy, would you like to elaborate on what the surplus property is here?
I'd say 2002 Ford Explorer.
Thank you.
It is a little old.
Oh, actually, I do have a question. Sorry, I should have done this before. Are the funds going to go back to the Creighton Fund?
It depends on if they sell it, they use it for training, there's different options they may use it for, but if there is money made off of it, it would go back into the Creighton Fund. But they may just deem it junk.
Thank you.
I don't know, maybe it is junk. Chief Stanley?
Did everybody have an opportunity to read my report? Any questions on my report? I did, I don't think I put it in the report, but we did receive a grant for helmets that totaled about $7,257. And we're actually getting fitted for those on Thursday.
How much was it?
About $7,257.60 if my math is correct.
What are the helmets for?
So the riot helmets, even though we don't have any riots in Park Hills, we do at times assist other cities in the area. And it was just something to complete, to help protect us even more during the situation. And they can be used for other things besides just that. That's just what they're called.
For domestic calls, if something's thrown at you.
Chico?
Yes.
Any word on the park restart?
The guy did,
Just working on that?
the person who helped us before did let us know that he would notify us right away if something became available.
I feel like I've asked this before, so I'm sorry, Dave, a nerd question, but it seemed to me, just like going through the incidents in the dispatch list, it seemed like maybe they were a little higher this month. And so I just wondered if we're comparing that monthly data or if dispatch does, or...
I haven't, because nothing has been really brought to my attention by anybody. I rely on my officers to let me know if there's a problem. If they're seeing an uptick in something or not, since they're the ones out on the road.
I got a question, Chief. It seems like here, and I know this is going to settle down, excuse me, cold weather hits, but, there's an individual coming through the city here a lot in the past month, like a little, I don't know if it's an electric scooter, or I think it's motorized, flying through stop signs. In fact, I talked to one of the police officers about it about 3 weeks ago, and apparently he stopped this person. This person was hanging on the back of a school bus, dragging him up.
You were aware of that. I'm aware of that.
Anyway, I had another call the other day from up on Cleveland that they think it's a young lady. I'm not even going to mention the name, but it's up on Cleveland that's doing this. I was up on Cleveland the other night with some people, And the same person, looks like the same bike, was cruising down around 7 o'clock, didn't even have the headlight on. Now, I know there's no stop sign, but I know for sure. I tried to video it. This person came down Old State, ran through all the stop signs, and then halfway down, raised their hands up. Now, I'm a motorcycle guy myself. I'm scared to death this person is gonna get hurt. Also, we're seeing these electric scooters flying through.
She
Now,
does
I mean, it's-
really drive at a high rate.
I'm scared to death somebody's gonna, this
I
kid.
don't know the age of this person.
I
It's
mean-
hard to tell, but I believe state law, and Mr. Braun would probably know, requires that you be 16 or older and have a license to drive that scooter on the road. So, I mean,
Anyway, just if you could check, you know.
yeah, I mean,
I just want
it'd be
anybody to
pretty
get hurt.
horrible if something happened there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Somebody backing out the
There's a lot of
driveway.
electric scooters, you know, somewhere on sidewalks, but that I see on the road.
Yeah.
And that's kind of scary, because they don't have, as you said, like, I see kids at night all the time on those, and they don't have lights.
And I think isn't it under 50 cc on a motorcycle? They don't have a license plate, but they still have to have a license.
I don't know the number offhand, there is something of that.
Right. Anyway, if you could just, when you get a
My
chance.
officers are all aware of the statutes, and if they come across them, they've been instructed to take appropriate action.
I appreciate it. I mean, if
For
God
safety.
forbid, if somebody would
Right.
back out a driveway and hit, I mean, it'd be terrible, terrible.
Well, it's not just safety or violating the law, they need to be cited, take appropriate action.
That's it for me. Thanks.
Is that all you
Oh,
have?
yeah.
Any other questions from Mr. Rigney?
Our report was sent out, hopefully I got a chance to take a look at it. I do apologize, we normally have a third page that actually has the breakdowns of the different types of incidents. And for whatever reason, I don't know, we put that to work, so it's through Kent County, so hopefully get that back in order again. So, just 21 calls for the month of September. We did assist Covington again with the fire on Watkins Street. And crews have been busy doing the normal things we do in the fall, which is testing all the equipment. The hose is all being tested. We got over 6,000 feet of hose. Fire hydrants are done. And then we're finishing up inspection. So those things will all be completed soon. And then, of course, we'll be once again hosting our Halloweenies on October 31st.
What year is that? How many?
1954. So it's every year since 54, and we missed 2 years on account of COVID.
Yeah.
71 years.
71 years. That's really cool.
I recently found out that we've been doing Halloweenies the same amount of time that they're collecting, the firefighters have been collecting from us for this 2 years. They both started the same year.
Interesting.
That's awesome.
So Chief, were you assisting at that big car fire today up on Frisch's parking lot?
No.
Yeah, I came by there, that was really scary, I mean.
No, I missed it. I was at work today, and they didn't call,
Okay.
so we handled it themselves. So
I don't know if it's an electric car or what, but.
I don't think it was,
Okay.
just from what I heard, so. Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan? Got Public Works?
Greetings, Mayor Zembrook, and member of the council, thanks for another month as always. Thanks to Eaton Asphalt for getting the pavement repairs completed up on Cecilia and Old Scenic. We did a walkthrough today, all looks good, especially the speed table, very snowplow friendly. Can't wait to try it.
Could be.
Be here before we know it, that's for sure. We have been working a lot on paint striping. We started off with yellow, put probably about 7 or 8 gallons of yellow out there to use up what I had there. And then we switched to the white because that's a higher priority, the stop bars and the crosswalks. And we'll switch back to yellow as the weather permits. Just a little reminder about the leaf pickup. The leaves need to be to the back of the curb and in the grass, not in the curb and gutter. Then we have the pumpkin parade, and my favorite, the hayride on October 26th at 4 p.m. And one more thing, we put a mirror up last Friday at Arlington in that nice little bend up there.
That's great.
Yeah. So,
The striping looks great.
Oh, you got
Striping
that?
looks great.
I was
Really
told to get
good.
it good and straight, so I got a furring strip that might have a little kick in it.
I have a question about the leaf pickup.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you contract out for that, or do we have our own equipment?
Have our own equipment.
Okay. It's about before I ask me that.
We used to contract it out, didn't we? And we could never get him to show up.
Well, they wanted to
Do
do it
like
one day. I
two
think it
streets
was
and
so
never come back, so.
expensive.
We just started, I hired Dennis Finke one year and I told Dan and take his helpers and then get on the road.
Dan, haven't you kind of devised your own
Yes, ma'am.
equipment? Yeah, I mean, Dan's very creative on this stuff. He won a national award, I mean, he really.
I don't know about national.
Oh, he did?
I think it was the state.
I got an
Or was
attaboy.
it a state award? I thought it was national.
I got an attaboy out of it. Sometimes those are better. Thank you.
Danny, you guys are doing a great job on that striping. Is that reflective also of the night? I think it is, isn't it? Or is just the?
No, we're just putting the plain paint down right now.
Gotcha.
But there is the glass beads back down on the wall down there on Arlington, Hamilton. The
That part
sidewalk
is
down there.
reflective.
Yeah, the curb edger was so slick, they put a cure and seal on there, and it didn't stick good enough, so we've gone through there with a grinder, and once we switch back to the yellow, then that's priority one, and that will have the glass beads in it, so.
Cool,
Has
great.
reflectivity. So you can see it at night. You-
Dan?
Yes, ma'am.
Laura asked many months ago, and it's not in Park Hills, but it's used by all the residents of Park Hills, the crosswalk that goes across Montague from Breckenridge into Deville. It is like not visible. I mean, is that something where you could reach out to Covington Public Works, or would
It's
they just
easier to
let
do it
us?
myself, we can blast
Could
it.
you do it, Dan? It really gets tremendous amount of use, and it's just
I'll
not.
put that on my list.
Thank you.
See, Mayor, I do have a list.
You get another attaboy.
I get another attaboy. There you go.
Montague into Deville.
Surprised we didn't get rid of
You can just.
Mr. Bear is,
I mean, I think it coordination is.
Mr. Bear isn't
nice.
here, so he asked me to give his report. And the bus stop pad on Dixie Highway in Arlington, we held a little meeting at 10/3, October 3rd, at his office, and Public Works was there, Dan and myself, and we reviewed the concept plan that he has and preliminary plans, and we're trying to get the costs down to, not replacing everything for the highway department and spending taxpayer money for that. Preliminary cost estimates are still being reviewed. The plan has been submitted to the KYTC for their approval, and proposal for a geotech just to see, how much retaining wall. There's a small area to do. So those things we talked about, and infrastructure video showing utilities, location, they'll provide all that. So we'll talk about that more, I'm sure. And then the mill and overlay on Cecilia has been done, and Dan already reported on that. That was completed by Eaton Asphalt. There are a couple of punch list items, and that's, I think, Dan, I think you have that too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Gateway Development, we have a bond for quite a while, and they still are, there's a long delay in completing the tasks that they need for our punch list that we've asked them for. So we get after them every month, and it's still being worked on, so.
Kathy, does that punch list include the completion of the sidewalks there? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, this is on Amsterdam Road.
This is just
the-
Amsterdam,
The
the
right-of-ways and
rights-of-way, okay.
yeah, the right-of-ways.
I have a question about the bus stop pad.
Mm-hmm.
Last business meeting, we talked about two different options.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about, that we might get to see those options or see something at this meeting in October.
He didn't have that ready.
And I guess I'm just curious, I know that Pam and I both talked at that meeting about how, we wanted to see something, maybe the first option put into action, as soon as possible.
But I
Well,
really
that's-
do
we
need
have to get the
see
okay.
something, Sarah, I'm glad you brought that up because my spatial relations are not wonderful, so it really helps me visualize it if I can see something.
Well-
So
Agreed.
will that maybe
he-
be coming soon, Kathy?
Well, we're still waiting on KYTC to get back on if this, what we're doing is what they accept. See,
Okay.
it has to be acceptable to them. So, no, it wasn't ready yet, so that's.
Okay.
Next on our list will be financials. Everyone have a chance to look over those? Julie's been hard at work on collecting.
I bet.
Yeah, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I had a couple questions about just, we're very early in the year, so there aren't a lot of questions to be had, but I did notice that under police department, we're over 100% for computer and records tech and also criminal investigations. And under Creighton Fund, we're at 291%. So I was just wondering if we need to make any adjustments to the budget.
We usually do that later, but the reason I think we spoke of that last month, I think it was last month. The computers, I think they went out with the one in your evidence room is the big expense that was unexpected.
Very unexpected. I think everything's been fixed now.
What was
Yeah,
the
that-
other one? You said
There is
criminal investigations?
criminal investigations.
Well, they budgeted 300, what, spent 342?
Yeah, that's pretty small.
It's not.
Yeah.
But the Creighton Fund expenses is pretty, 291%.
And I don't want to answer for Scott, because there was money taken out of that for the truck they bought, they were going to buy last year. They did not buy it last year.
Yeah, okay.
And I think they pretty much use that 20 as a gauge, because they never know what, I think it's more of a,
Yeah.
to your benefit to show exactly what's, unless I'm wrong, Chief Rigby, that's just to kind of show what's
Right, and it
going
came
on.
in at the fiscal year where we
But that
thought
was
it's going to be
across.
there, and now it's here, after we had already done our budgets.
And it should be noted that the money's there, but as Julie
Yes.
said, the 20,000, it's not like you're in the hole, you're very positive. It's just the 20,000 that was budgeted
Right.
was inadequate.
Didn't we talk about at some point having some notation, I think it was last year, or maybe it was this year during budget season, some sort of notation for anything that is, over a certain percentage?
I
Yeah,
just
we-
don't
having it-
recall that.
We can do that. I remember, it's been a while.
We did talk about footnoting some items,
Yeah.
but I don't recall that one specifically.
And I also just wanted to ask, and forgive me if I've asked about this before, but on page 8 of 10, on our balance sheet where it says our equity is negative $37,000, what does that indicate?
I believe that's just our expenditures over revenue for the month.
It's on the restricted funds.
restricted
Yeah, this is
funds.
restricted.
Yeah.
Looks like we have the 193, which is due to, from the road fund. But I guess, I can't say for sure, but I'm guessing because our assets are less than our,
Ask Chamberlain if that is an
our assets are
account.
less than our
These are
liabilities.
accounting terms too.
Because I think that was on, we took it off the front page
We
here
did,
because it kept coming up.
It makes no sense in
And-
the context of what we're doing, it's sort of like depreciation of our roads and stuff, well, we're not able to take advantage of depreciation, so as a, not-for-profit body, but
But if you do take our assets and then you subtract our liabilities, that's the negative number you're gonna come up with.
Right.
yeah.
And it's not the same as what's in the, it's not like the
It's not-
values of our
let's put it this
roads
way,
and things
it's
like
not a
that.
real number.
No, and these are, again, restricted accounts.
I understand.
So-
But I just wanted to clarify that this is not about the value of our roads and all our things.
In no
This is-
way.
This is about restricted funds, and it just looks unusual to me that it's a negative number.
I agree, I think
Our
it's a-
road tax, if you look at that 10,000, I moved, 500 and something thousand in October, once the taxes were pretty much all obtained. So next month, you'll see that up by about $500,000, so that's gonna make a big difference in that
Okay.
negative number.
Oh, I was gonna say
That
that
would explain
tax
Which we
money
can
isn't
also
moved
use to
yet.
pay that general fund back, so if you guys choose to do that, or some of it.
Right, that was the plan, so.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Thank you.
So there's a motion in a second?
Mr. Claypool?
Yes.
Ms. Sayers?
Yes.
Ms. Fryland?
Yes.
Ms. Ford?
Yes.
Ms. Cardosi?
Yes.
And Mr. Elkins?
Yes.
Well, and this is flowers that were delivered just today, and they're from an anonymous person for a good job to the mayor, and I was like, who is it? So I'd like to thank out there whoever may have sent it. They're very nice, and I appreciated it. Now we're going to move on to committee reports.
I have a report. The Economic and Business Committee met. I presented last month on our road diet project, rename pending, because a big part of our discussion at our committee last month was how the road diet maybe is not the best name for what we're trying to achieve, because I think it sounds kind of funny and it makes sense, but I think there are better names for it. So that was the main topic of our conversation and bringing it to council for a vote to move forward with a feasibility and traffic study to see if this is even viable with the extension all the way up the top of the hill. So that was the main discussion point. We spent a lot of time on the name, I feel like, just because everyone was like, road diet, what does that mean? But that's where we are in terms of that. That has been, as I mentioned last time, our main focus in terms of how we can develop this city and its economy. And I think, Pam, you brought it up last time, which I thought was actually a fantastic point about the new development up at the Heights. And, we don't know what's going up, we know a little bit, but what's that going to be and how that's going to affect our city, and being conscious of how the road diet could support a lot of
And
these
to be
new
clear,
builds.
the extension you proposed was to the city limit, right? To
Yes.
the- Yeah.
Yes,
To
that
the
is correct.
city limit, yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Do you want to take a vote about asking, do we want to vote on asking Jay Bear to
Yes.
put together the proposal?
Yes, that's what we wanted to vote on, was reaching out to Jay to talk about a proposal for the studies,
Right, an updated proposal, like all the way.
all the way up
I
to the
think
top.
before we could vote on that, unless you just want to reach out to him, but I think we need numbers. So I think it would be good if you reached out to Jay and he said, well, this is what this will cost you, or here's an alternative, and then we could vote.
No, I think that it's actually to ask him to go ahead and put together the proposal that would tell us what the numbers are.
Yeah.
I think that's what
Is
we're
there a
asking about.
cost associated with that?
No, we just have to ask him to do it.
Yeah.
So you probably don't even need a vote, do you?
Well, that would
be nice.
It would be nice. I think it would be official to know
way
whether
to
everybody is okay with that idea.
He's gonna do it with no charge?
That's my understanding.
Well, I'm all for that. I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second that.
All right.
Do we actually need a vote on that?
I think it
A
would
roll
be
call on
nice.
that? Mr. Claypool?
Yes.
Ms. Sayers?
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Ms. Fryland? Ms.
Sorry.
Ford?
Yes.
Ms. Cardosi?
Yes.
Mr. Elkins?
Make sure the minutes reflect free in capital letters.
All caps. That's all I have.
Okay, the Parks Committee met, and we went over some things that we're working on, so I'll just give you a brief update. We did order it's called a generational swing. It will replace one of the infant swings in Trolley Park, and it's really neat, because 2 children can ride in it, like a baby and a toddler, or even a mom and a baby can ride in it. I think it'll be very enjoyable. And Laura and I both went and looked at them, and they're very popular in use, so.
I love those. They have them up in DeVille, and they're great.
Yeah, so hopefully it'll be fun, and we got a cheerful color. So
I love that.
I think that will be good. Additionally, we have completed the tuck pointing and repair of the historic entry walls. The walls were in worse shape than we had anticipated when the stonemason got up there. The entire top of one of the walls was gone, where the light inserted, and unfortunately was filled with a massive bee's nest, which afflicted him pretty badly. Yeah, it was nasty, like a gigantic, anyway, that's all completed. So we will now go back, and the yew bushes have been ripped out, and thanks to Dan, we got rid of the mean green box. It's gone, which, I don't know if you all ever noticed it, but it was a large, like this tall box. It used to house telephone equipment, but it was just an empty box at this point. And the old yew bushes have been removed, and we will go back with hollies. These are pyramidal hollies. They're called castle spires. They reach a maximum height of 10 feet and a width of 4 feet. So they won't dominate the wall, but they'll be winter interest. And then we will use those Mr. Bowling Ball arbor vitae to outline the planting bed. Dan is going to help us. The beds are uneven, they're not the same shape or size, so we're going to correct that. And the one on the upper side has mounded up soil, we're going to take some of that to the lower side. Anyway, we're going to get them all balanced, so that's where it's almost accomplished. And we do plan to have those things planted within the month of October.
Any other?
Yeah, infrastructure real quick. We touched on a lot of stuff, but a couple things we didn't. I asked Dan at the meeting about the condition of some of the pass-throughs we've got in the city. He's pretty much done. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but lower, Lawton to upper.
That's on hold.
All of
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's in
Lawton.
much better shape.
Yeah.
I gotta get to the ones behind the steps, they're much worse shape.
Yeah, the steps here from the church. There's a couple of bad spots on it, but you did get rid of some of the vegetation.
Yeah.
That was on there, so thank you. We talked a bit about Amsterdam, dealing with the state, so it's moving in a commercial state base, it seems. But they are doing coordination with utilities, and we found out some good news that North Kentucky Water District's taking care of all the water pipe replacement. So that's not on us. That's the cost we don't have on us anymore. And they've hired Jay to manage that for them, which is good for us. Good for us too. We talked about the radar signs and perhaps looking at getting a couple more because they are pretty damn effective if you think about it. Because Mr. Box on Montague called the things very appreciative of the fact that it was down there. He could see the effect it was having immediately. People slowing down.
That's great.
So-
He did come in and wanted to pay for the half, and I said, I don't think you need to do that, Mr.
No.
Box, but he was very appreciative, thanked everybody.
And Steve, just to add to that, I did talk to the chief chief of Fort Wright. He was the one getting the rolling
They were talking about
signs.
getting
So,
some of the portable
yeah, I'm
signs.
getting a price on those too, because they're a separate thing, but he gave me where to get that.
Okay, cool. That's what it is.
That's all you have?
Yep.
Anybody, any other committees? Is that it? We have, I'm sorry, Dan?
In light of Steve's report, that water main work is actually going all the way to Crowley Park,
Right,
all the way down Amsterdam.
because the main all the way down has been fixed. Bigger pipe, yeah. And Mr. Rigney here, chief, has also asked for another fire hydrant, which they're going to incorporate as well, because just to bring it more up to date, and with the higher flow, I think that'll be good for the Amsterdam people. And the money we saved on utilities was moved to environmental, so we didn't lose any money. I said, more means more, and I didn't want to have to pay more out of our match, where we wanted the grant to cover the rest and not us, so that worked out really well. So. Is there old business?
Yeah, I had some old business, and this pertains to what I initially said at the beginning of the meeting about what I perceived to be a veiled threat that I received. And I would just like us all to engage in more respectful conversation with each other. I think it's really important. I see things on social media that I would describe as, basically a tool for disinformation, for brigading. And I will offer a concrete example. The mayor, through hours and hours of hard work and skill, obtained for the city the grant that we're discussing right now with respect to Amsterdam Road. That is the largest grant this city has ever obtained by, I believe, a factor of 30. That's a big deal. That's a really good thing for our city to enable us to do a full depth reconstruction of Amsterdam Road for all of our residents. But what do you see on social media about that? Well, we have a match, and the match is about 30%. We've talked about this many times in our meetings, and that's about $1,120,000 I'm approximating. And we have reserved that money. It's set aside. We actually, you can see it in every monthly financial. You can see those funds. You can see it also in our audit. But it's said on social media, they don't have that money. And if they do have it, they stole it. I mean, that is patently false. It's damaging. It's intended to be damaging. It's intended to hurt people's reputations, create division and suspicion in our city. That's unhealthy for our city. I mean, the mayor deserves a real pat on the back for obtaining that grant for our city. And it's never been corrected. And I invite the person that posted it to correct it. I think it would be a healthy step forward. I would just like to see us engage in mutual respect and treat each other with dignity.
As for the past meeting, I'd like to address some disrespect at that meeting was really awful. And I think a lot of it stems from, I don't really know, lies that they're spread to create confusion, makes our city look bad, unfriendly, even unwelcoming to a business or a business growth. I mean, I hear from up and down, I go in a store and I hear this stuff, and it's really sad to hear because I really like this city, and I think one of the, like you said, the Facebook site, it's called Park Hills Neighborhood Facebook. It's not a city site, but it's so bashing and slandering to elected officials. How friendly is that? That is just really disturbing. I don't know, the behavior of some is absolutely appalling to me. And on top of that, we have, I know the road diet or whatever you want to call it. I have yet to hear, businesses call me and they're all afraid of it every time they hear the word. And no one's talking to them. No one's talking to them. So, I hear all these little things about all these different things going on. So I think maybe we should get to the bottom of where this disinformation is coming from that goes around. Maybe there's some underlying, I don't know, an ulterior motive or agenda of a few that create this thing. So I don't know what it is, but I hope it would stop because it's really bad for our city. It's disturbing to be in this position and listen to it. The last meeting was so disgusting. I mean, the sound of everybody just talking and the rudeness and disrespect I heard from so many residents that and I think that's why these came, that somebody just said, oh my God, that was so horrible. I think I'll send flowers. It was just appalling. And it's just, I think everybody here is on council to respect each other, to do a job. And if you know of anyone doing these things or posting things like this. I think they just need to be stopped or not a part of. I don't know. I don't really know what the underlying agenda might be for a select few, or what the purpose is to put out all these lies and disturbing things. So
Mayor,
that's all I've got to say for
I
that. So.
just don't think, I'm not responding to anything on that site. I don't feel like
Well,
it's
that's good.
sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm not saying, yeah, I'm just saying,
You really-
as a whole, it's, yeah.
It's a, you know, I don't either, but it's a public forum, more public facing individuals. It's unfortunately, it's just part of the job. I agree, it does not, we can have healthy discussion without disrespect, but I think that that's not necessarily an unfortunate part. I just think it's a part of being an elected official. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong. It's just what it is,
It's
but
not just Park Hills.
yeah.
That's
Well,
all
it kind
the way it's
of,
on.
it kind of is. I mean, I belong to Fort Mitchell side, Fort Wright side, Lakeside side, and I look at them, I don't see that on other sides.
No, I'm talking about on the national level.
Yeah,
Oh,
just being an elected
no,
person.
absolutely, Maura. I
Yeah.
completely agree with that.
That's what I thought you meant. I was
But-
like, that's true.
No, I totally agree with that. I just, the biggest problem with that is this creating division and dissension in our city where it's just not necessary. We are all here, nobody's here to get rich, we're here to make our city rich and prosperous and safe. That's the goal. And I think it's important that we document our accomplishments along those lines too, with real facts. But I'm a huge believer that we should try and think the best of each other and not the worst, and treat each other with dignity and courtesy.
You know, and the bottom line is, as a council person off and on, living up here for over 40-something years now, raising my family up here, we don't do it for the money, we do it for the love of the city. And even though the six of us, we might not agree on every decision, but you can't take it personal. You know, it's just the way it is.
That's going to be the
No.
way. Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Good point, Craig. Right, Emily.
That's how it should be.
But that's the point, that, and the whole point of the process is so that we can learn from each other in those
Yeah.
discussions. So.
Agreed.
Let me add something to the discussion too, since you brought it up, and you shared with me a copy of the email that you received. And I do believe this has to do with the quorum issue or the conduct of meetings. But the implied accusation against my integrity as your attorney and the direct accusation against Ms. Spohr is not going to be tolerated.
Any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
I had asked to be on the agenda.
She sent me an email that I forwarded
Oh,
to you. It was sent on
okay.
Saturday, whether or not that makes a
Okay.
difference.
Yeah, if you want to talk, we're adjourning, but I didn't know.
Well, she CC'd you, and she said, okay.
I mean, that's
Okay.
solid, but I did. Talked about it.
I'm astounded by a lot that just happened, and I'm going to try to stay on with my prepared remarks, because I want to try to be as precise as I can. I wanted to talk about ordinance 8, number 2025, which was concerning the city meetings, how they're operating and whatnot. I understand section C is going to be changed to match the KRS, which is good, because that's what I was going to recommend. The ordinance adoption of Robert's rules, I'm still very confused. I wanted to bring this book. This is edition 12. It's 700 pages. So I don't know what edition is being adopted. I heard edition 12, then I heard there's a paper of 2 pages of something. I mean, words matter, so I think it needs to be very precise in the ordinance. I'm not sure that you can adopt edition 12 and then follow it sometimes and not follow it all the time. And I think that really matters. I also have an abridged version that's 225 pages long. It's very complex. I just think Park Hills is a small city. I'm not sure that we need this big, gigantic manual. Kentucky provides statutes, already provides the structure needed for effective city governance. It's under section 83A. This section governs how cities are organized and operated during the defining the powers, duties, and procedures of the mayors and city councils and other local officials. It establishes the foundation for city governance, meetings, ordinances, and local decision-making authority. The framework that you need is already there, and home rule allows for flexibility within it. I think adopting Robert's Rules of Order, 12th edition especially, was just going to create further confusion and division. I think if the mayor is concerned about conduct during a meeting, she already has the tools to maintain order. She has a gavel in front of her and the police chief is in the room. If you don't use them, then that's your choice. I don't know that Robert's Rules is going to help you. There's nothing in Robert's Rules that applies to the people that are in the meeting. It's simply rules for you guys and how you prepare and how you conduct business. There's nothing in there that tells people they can't yell out from the chairs. Okay, that can be done with a gavel and the chief of police escorting people out who are unruly. I think if you do adopt Robert's Rules, it's important that everyone, like Sarah said, gets proper training. There are going to be common missteps. There's going to be unfair motions. There's going to be improper rulings from the chair, who is the mayor. This can all be legally challenged. I know I have been identified by some in this body as a complainer or a troublemaker. I see my behavior as holding you accountable, and holding you accountable for these kind of ordinances that impact how the public can address you and what procedures we're going to use is something that I think would be appropriate. This body is enacting this ordinance, and words matter. I have an interesting development that's going to piggyback on what Mr. Braun just said, and I want everyone to be aware of it. Mr. Braun, with I'm assuming the mayor's approval, recently sent a letter to the Attorney General that referred to me as quote-unquote a complainer. He included baseless, immature, and unprofessional accusations in this letter. I want to be clear, Mr. Braun and Ms. Zambrano, I didn't really take any of this personally. I'm sorry that you did it. But I read what you wrote to the Attorney General, and it made it personal for me. My posts, my remarks, they've been focused on issues, not on individuals. It's obvious that you both dislike me. Just like you don't know why, I don't know why either. You've made that clear. You sent an official city correspondence to the Attorney General. Neither of you don't know anything about me, except that I have the courage to stand here and question your actions. That's not only my right, it's my responsibility. Every time I've addressed this council, I've done so respectfully, knowledgeably, and directly. I've been transparent in my remarks and open about my views. I welcome feedback and debate. It never comes, but I always welcome it. I've tried emailing questions and ideas. I get no response from anyone except Ms. Freilich. I stand up here, I'm always met with silence, but I'm going to keep showing up because creating a public record of your actions is essential. To call me a complainer because I advocate for transparency and accountability is an insult. Not just to me, but to the many citizens who expect me to be their voice. Finally, with regard to Ordinance Section 4A, which wasn't brought up during council discussion, this requires citizens to sign up by Friday for a Monday meeting. This seems to me another attempt to stifle public input. If you truly want citizens' engagement, don't make them register 3 days early or submit prepared remarks for approval. That's not transparency. It's control and another way to stifle public input. The addition of this to the ordinance will not deter me or others like me. We will sign up, show up, and speak up. However, this rule will silence others. Your neighbors who aren't comfortable on camera, They aren't used to public speaking. Maybe they have never been to a council meeting. They don't know how it works. Those are the people it's going to impact, not me, not people in your regular. People should be able to come to a meeting, sign up on a paper in the back, and be heard. That's the common practice. That's the common practice throughout the county. You rarely have petitioners. I was here once last year. This is my second time here today, and I'm at every meeting. You rarely have people that want to get up here and talk. Welcome them in. Don't be afraid. Make it easier, not harder. Finally, Mr. Braun, and unfortunately Ms. Embrett, with your actions in submitting that letter to the Attorney General and the ongoing games you continue to play with me, you have really poked the bear. The contempt you showed towards me for respectfully addressing this body and expecting compliance with Kentucky law is incomprehensible and deeply disappointing. Your letter was a disgrace, both for the label you assigned to me and the outright lies you told about me. If that reflects the standards or the values of this city, it is truly a sad day for Park Hills. This is not a private kingdom that you get to control. It's a public government. You're accountable to your citizens and bound by rules, procedures, and laws. I will continue and I will intensify my oversight of your actions and decisions. I will do so legally, honorably, and with determination. This is the email that I sent to Ms. Swarth this morning. I feel it is important to remind you that as a member of the Kentucky Bar, you are expected to uphold higher standards of ethics and honesty than the general public, including your fellow council members. This obligation extends to holding other members of the Kentucky Bar to these higher standards as well. That's the email, because it's true. And I knew it was going to be a problem with the minutes. I knew that that was going to be a question. That's a question of integrity and honesty. There was a ton of commotion going on back there. Sarah was gone. She was gone. You all know it, and if you don't know it, how can you vote that you know for a fact she was in the room and approved those minutes? With regard to the post about Amsterdam Road that was also directed at me, I never once said those funds were stolen. I would like to see that post.
I will provide it to you.
Please.
It's been removed because the posts only go back now, like, I don't know,
Please.
2 years, but I do have a
Please provide it.
screenshot of it. I will.
That'd be great.
Are we adjourned?
Yeah.
Oh,